right ahead and let's continue talking about March Madness. Right now, Michigan State is they're up 20-8, going up against Mississippi. Mississippi is really struggling right now. So far, like they just missed a layup badly. Michigan State gets the rebound, and right now it seems like they're going on a run. Three-pointer by Michigan State misses, but they get the rebound. And again, I really like March Madness, so this is just a little update. But let's go ahead and actually talk about the main segment and the main games that happened yesterday. And before I continue talking about the games that are happening right now as I speak. And Grambling State went up against Montana State. That was he missed badly. That was the first match. Well, not the first matchup technically. That was the third matchup of the first four bracket, where it's. Think of the first four the NCAA tournament's play-in game. So it's they're playing for a specific spot in the bracket itself. And so Grambling State was fighting for the 16th seed against Montana State. Now, that first game for yesterday, that was a really, really good first game. And the common trend that happened with the NCAA tournament so far, for the first four games, the first game yesterday was a really, really close game. Then the last game wasn't really that close. And it's sort of the same trend, or either it wasn't that close or the scoring was really bad. I think it was more so the scoring was really bad in the second game. And the story sort of repeated itself going into this next matchup against when Grambling State went up against Montana and Colorado went up against Boise State. So Grambling State and Montana, it was very competitive. It went all the way into overtime. And I was if you guys paid attention to my short, I was on the absolute edge of my seat watching that game. It was so fun. Everyone was playing defense. Everyone was playing offense. The refs weren't calling anything. Well, they were calling a lot of, the right calls. I also brought that attention in another short that I did. The refs, we've had, over the year, this previous year, we've had a lot of questionable calls that had a lot of fans scratching their heads, what, where, Not just in basketball, but also in football. And I don't want to bring up the officiating all that much because it's they officiate the game however they want to officiate it. But when LeBron's foot was apparently on the line, you guys know how I feel about LeBron, and it's nope, they're just robbing my glorious king yet again of a basket and winning them the game. But I digress. So the officiating in this game, it was really, really good. I really like how they allow the players to play and decide they don't decide the game. The players decide the game. And that was a problem with the Super Bowl, not last Super Bowl, but a year ago, with a lot of Philadelphia fans when they were why did the ref call that? Why did the ref throw that flag? That shouldn't have been a flag thrown. It was ticky-tack, however you want to call it. That's what the fans were saying. I'm not saying that they were right, but that's what they were saying. And it always leaves a very sour impression after you look at the outcome of the game, and it's the refs basically determined the game for a lot of these players. And quite ironically, Rudy Gobert got fined for making this gesture to the refs because he was sort of implying that the refs had money on the game with that gesture. That was his gesture. I'm not saying that they did. I'm not accusing them of that, of anything like that, but that's what Rudy Gobert felt in that moment because he felt there was a no call that should have been called, things like that. Now, just out of a timeout right now, Mississippi State, they're still down 8-20 against Michigan State, and it's starting to look like the first game of my bracket is going to be correct. Thank the Lord, because in the first four matchups, I was 3 for 4 and literally the very first game I got wrong, and it was very, very upsetting. But I digress. So since I already talked about those previous games, I might as well go ahead and talk about the rest of those games that are and the odds going into this game. So I obviously mentioned, oh no, the game froze. No, don't freeze on me now. Okay, there we go. I'm just going to use data because the Wi-Fi in this building is absolutely atrocious. So again, I'm gonna just go ahead and like give the odds on the teams that have the best chances of making it out, according to the statistics that I have over here on a bunch of betting sites. So right now, Michigan State has a 63% chance of beating like Mississippi State. I can't give you the spread because like the game's already started. Jesus Christ, can this game please just continue? I'm having a heart attack waiting for it to load. Oh no. Just load. Regardless. BYU, the game is starting in less than a minute right now, and BYU is projected to have like an 80% chance of winning this game. And oh my god, there's so many people connecting to this stream that it's probably crashing and all that stuff. BYU is projected to win by more than 9 points, so they expect it to be a blowout game. I have BYU making it past Duquesne in this bracket, so I honestly wouldn't put it. I think this is a great. The probability of them winning is definitely high. Next game on the list is Akron going up against Creighton. They start in 49 minutes. Now, Creighton has the best odds of making it, of beating Akron and winning in this round. I actually 100% agree with that because Creighton now, Akron should not be in this tournament. I'm sorry to say they should not be in this tournament. It is just, they got there in a fluky manner. It's incredibly fluky how they were able to even make it all this way. And I just don't agree with it whatsoever. Because remember, the team that they were playing against, for some reason, one of their players decided to foul when they were up by 1. And that just infuriated me. They should not be in this tournament. They do not deserve to be in this tournament. And right now, the site is crashing because so many people are trying to watch this game on this website, and it's really got me infuriated. But I digress. So going on into the next game, Long Beach State is going up against Arizona. Arizona has a 94% chance of beating Long Beach State. Those are some ridiculous odds, and they're projected to win by over 20 points, which, again, is ridiculous because usually when in March Madness and when that rolls around, most of the time, like, those blowout games, they don't really happen because there's so much pressure on a lot of these players, and most of the time, like, with that pressure, it really gets to them. Now, all right, I'm just going to see if I can actually go live in this game for once. Now, the next game is North Carolina going up against Wagner. It makes sense that North Carolina is without a doubt like the team to make it out of this game. They are the 1 seed, and they're projected to win by 25 plus points, which again is really ridiculous. But it's North Carolina going up against Wagner. I don't want to sound disrespectful, but ooh, okay. So right now Duquesne opens up the game with a 5-0 run. That's always fantastic for my bracket. Thank you. Now, next game on the list is Morehead State going up against Illinois. Illinois is the favorite by 85% according to DraftKings, and they are projected to win by 12 or more points. And again, this was another team that I decided to pick on my bracket. So far, very good choices coming in from me, at least with the odds. Now, here's the more competitive game. Oregon going up against South Carolina. Now, the odds say South Carolina, but I'm saying Oregon. I just have that gut feeling that Oregon's going to make it out. I know South Carolina has a great basketball program. They also have a fantastic women's basketball program, flawless regular seasons back to back, and you would assume that like, oh, the men's team, they got to be just as good, right? But it's not always the case. Now, can this website please just load? Now, Oregon going up against, I really think Oregon's going to end up winning this round. Nevada going up against Dayton. Now, this one is another close game. Projected to be another close game, excuse me. Nevada is projected to win by just 1 point and has a 54% chance of winning this game. And I'm just going to check my bracket real quick. Yes, I do have Nevada making it out of the first round. That's always great. Now, Colorado State going up against the Texas Longhorns. Now, the Texans are projected to win by at least 3 points. Based on how Colorado State played that last game, I'm not very keen on them in the tournament. I think the pressure is going to get to them like how it got to them last game, and I'm not particularly confident. Now, University of Kentucky. I remember this team because St. Peter's knocked the University of Kentucky out in the first round. That was fantastic to watch. And again, University of Kentucky, they're projected to win by at least 14 points. So, but even though they did lose to St. Peter's a few years ago, I still have them. I have them making it to the next round. Not really much that needs to be said. I mean, they are 14-plus point favorites for a reason. Now, let me just go ahead and just try to see if I can connect to the game. McNeese State is going up against Gonzaga, and Gonzaga, it has a 72% chance of winning in this matchup. They're 7-point favorites. So, again, I picked them to go into my bracket. I picked them for my bracket, so far very good. South Dakota State going up against Iowa State. 92% Iowa. I don't really think there needs to be much said because we all seen how talented Iowa is. They are projected to win by 16 points or more. And now we move on to the game that I'm 100% going to be tuning into at 9:20. St. Peter's going up against Tennessee. Now, Tennessee, they're 95, it's 95% that they're going to win. They're projected to win by 22 or more points. I just don't. I'm sorry. I've seen St. Peter's in the NCAA tournament. They became the first team from the 15th seed to make it all the way up to the Elite Eight. I am hoping that they make another run like that again. I am just hoping that I could have something to root for because as a Giants fan, as a Nets fan, there is absolutely nothing to root for in sports. And, I mean, there's the Knicks, but they're the Knicks. And it's like, please, St. Peter's, just one win. Just one. One upset. And I have two brackets, one where I pick them and one where I don't pick them. But, please, just win one. I don't even care if I mess up that bracket, just please. And next game on the list is North Carolina State going up against Texas Tech. Texas Tech is projected to win by 5 points. And, I mean, I think it's going to be a close game. This was one of the parts of the bracket where I was just like, I have no idea who to pick. And so I just went with Texas Tech, and it looks like so far like the betting odds have agreed with me. And next game is Samford going up against Kansas at 9:55. Kansas is projected to win by 8 points. They are 72% chance that they're going to win, at least according to DraftKings. Nothing much that needs to be said. I mean, they are Kansas. Now, Samford does have the potential to upset. I don't want to blow off Samford like they're a nobody team. They do have a chance to upset. And last game on this list is Drake going up against Washington State. And I picked Drake upsetting Washington State in this game. And it looks like the betting odds have voted for me again as well. They are 1-point favorites, and there's a 53% chance that they're winning. So those are the odds, and those are the games that are happening tonight. And, well, tonight, in the afternoon, however you want to call it. But that's the end of the first segment. So now we're going to go ahead and pivot over to the second segment where we get a little bit serious and talk about the status of Sir Thompson and arguably even Amen Thompson. And you'll understand why I'm talking specifically about those Thompson brothers. More so Asur than his brother Amen. But I will be right back after this short break.